Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hunted Podcast. If you were listening to this and you like kind of what we got going on, make sure that you go through and listen to our other episodes that we got going on. Excuse me. And while you go through and do that, if you would go through and give us a 5-star rating and everything, that goes through and helps us out. You know, give us a little good positive feedback. You know, let us know that what you're listening to is what you like. And if you do like what you're hearing, make sure you go through and check out Levi and I and what we got going on Facebook, Instagram. We got a YouTube page going on. We're just kind of getting started up, and we're hoping to go through and get that a little bit more once turkey season starts coming on, maybe a couple how-to videos and just kind of in general with what we got going on with our life. So with that being said, we are going to go through and talk to you about our sponsors because we could not do this without them. So we're going to start it off with Rec Broadheads. If you go through and you want to check out some broadheads, most definitely go check them out. Seems like they're always trying to change things up a little bit and improve on what they got going on. You go through and go and check them out on Facebook, Instagram, on their webpage or anything like that. That would be awesome, especially if you go through and kind of drop our name, The Hunted, and let them know that the way that you discovered them was through us. And then the next one we got going on here is Wild Oak Whitetails Buck Lure. It's a good buddy of mine, Corey. He's just a local guy who got into it. Kind of, I don't know how he's got the bug, but he is all about this deer pea lure. And I talk with him all the time and see with what his deer are doing, everything like this, kind of trying to find out, when his deer are going into heat, because that kind of gives me a little edge, kind of, sort of, to know to where kind of keep watch out where I'm at to see, kind of maybe when that rut's coming. Then we got Dominant Strands Bowstrings. If you've listened to past episodes, we've talked with Lewis before, and he gave some great, wonderful, amazing tips on how to keep your strings good with kind of what to look for and everything like that. Go through, most definitely check him out. Also, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. He is so full of knowledge. If you have any questions on possibly like what kind of string you might need, or if your string or bow's just not quite working right, anything like that, go through 100%, go through and get a hold of him. And then we got ECW Hunting Calls. Jeff is also wonderful. He goes through and hand makes all this stuff. I'm pretty sure he tries to get everything that he can local also, so he's not really sending out and about to all these other places to try to get products and all this stuff. He goes through, gets the lumber that he needs to, and he's spinning the wood and doing all that stuff all by hand. It's great. It's amazing. I've seen him do a couple things, and it's just really interesting to see. And then I got Marath Welding. He's a good buddy of mine. He can go through and he can weld, I swear, anything onto anything. He's always out running around in the weather, if it's raining, snowing, anything like that. He's a hard worker, getting stuff done. His season's going to get really busy here because spring's about to come. We're going to have all these farmers who are going to be blowing his phone up. So if you're a local guy, make sure you go through, check him out, give him a buzz. He would be more than happy, I'm sure, to go through and put some metal onto metal for you. And then National Land Realty, they kind of jumped on this adventure with us here recently. We're very happy to have them. Levi just went through and got with them through the realty thing, so make sure you go through and check them out if you have any realty questions. And with that being said, if you also are local and you have some realty questions, go through, get a hold of Levi. He would be more than happy to direct you at least in the right direction on maybe who you need to get a hold of if you're out of his area. And then last but not least is Nature Made Jewelry. Nature Made Jewelry is a company that Levi and his wife go through. They go out, get sheds, they kind of, razzle dazzle some of this stuff. They make bracelets, they make rings, necklaces, earrings. They got some stuff kind of cooking in the books, in the works and everything. So very excited to see what they got going on. Them, just like anybody else that you have here, you can always go through and check them out on Facebook, give them a like, let them know that the way that you found them is through us. That would be wonderful, because then our sponsors know that we're not just kind of, gabbing around, not doing anything, We're at least trying to put their name out there and let them know about the wonderful people that they are. So make sure you go through and check them out, as I said. So getting towards the end of this, I'm already getting huffing and puffing here. Where we at? I lost my thing. So if you haven't yet or haven't realized it or haven't heard, we try to go through and do a first responder thank you. So if you have anybody that is a current first responder, was a first responder, is in the military, was in the military, please email us, DM us, let us know so we can go through and tell them thank you. So with that being said, the lovely, wonderful gentleman that we have on the phone with us right now, he sent us one because it sounds like he's got some people that have helped with him in the past that he wanted to say thank you for. And Mike, if I get these names wrong or something, please let me know. So,
okay.
So it sounds like we have a 4-star Army General, Gary Luck, and then there's a 3-star Marine General. Is it Buck Bedard? Bedard?
Buck Bedard, yeah.
Buck Bedard. And then a Marine Cornell, a George Fenton. And that seems
George Fenton.
Awesome. And they go through and they help you just put on your email that they go through and they help you quite a bit. They just help you with.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys. They really are. They're impressive, and they've really helped with our journey. So
that is awesome. I'm very glad that you went through, because I believe, other than just me kind of saying thank you to people in general and us kind of saying thank you to anybody, and we haven't said thank you to anybody individually. That's the first one. So we do appreciate that. So another thing that we do too is we're going to take a moment of silence here for the first responders and military that we have lost, because it's sad that they are not with us anymore, and that's kind of our little way of saying thank you. So we're just going to give a moment of silence for them right now. Alrighty, we're going to jump back on here just one more time for everybody. So if you listen to this and you have a thank you or something like that you would like for us to go through, say thank you to an individual or people or a few of them, just, get a hold of us. Let us know. We'll put that out there. So with all that being said, that always puts me out of breath because I always do so much talking at that point. So, but right now, if you're tuning into this, thank you for listening, because we are talking to the man himself, Mike Slinkard, right? I'm sorry if I messed that up.
Yep.
Awesome, man. I'm doing pretty good with names so far.
You're hitting them all so far.
So far. So we got Mike here. He is the head honcho of HECS, the bodysuit. If you don't know what HECS is, from how I see it, it's an incredible product. I've seen the commercials that I'm sure so many people have with kind of it. The commercials make me wonder, because you put on this bodysuit and then you go out and it messes with your electric field, and then it for whatever reason, it just really makes it seem like the game, your turkey, antelope, bucks, antelope, deer, anything in general, they can't see you, which is mind blowing to me. So I'm going to turn this over to Mike real quick and just kind of let him, give his 2 cents on what basically HECS is without drawing him out too long, because Mike has informed me that he's got a bit of a sore throat. He's been talking to quite a few people at all these trade shows and everything. So Mike, if you would just kind of real quick let the people know about what HECS is.
Well, sure. Yeah, and as you might hear, my voice is a little scratched. I've been on the road since the 1st February. But anyway, we're finally done with all of our shows. But for people who don't know what HECS is, it doesn't make you invisible to animals. However, what it does do is it blocks your body's what's called their bioelectric signature. That's what science calls it.
Okay.
So basically, every living being out there, if you've got a heartbeat, you're actually putting out an electrical field all the time. It's going all directions out of your body. If you move, muscle movement actually spikes those as well. So, the thing is that we've learned, and it's not new science. We've actually been out since 2010. Mm-hmm. Our patents started issuing way back in 2009, but it's still new to a lot of people. But actually, animals use those electrical fields to tell what's living and what isn't. And so you're not invisible by any means, but by blocking your electric field, you can get away with a lot more than a lot of people think you can. So especially, with turkey season coming up right now, HECS is such a game changer with turkeys because birds see those fields visually. So if you can visualize a movement that's made by something that's living, there's also an electrical field associated with that movement. When you block that electrical field, and that's what HECS does, it takes that away, so the movement then becomes like an inanimate movement. So, like I said, for those of you that think this is the craziest thing you ever heard, hop on HECShunting.com and check it out. Go to YouTube we got all kinds of information. But
Yeah, I was.
crazy as it sounds, it really does work.
It does too, because like you were just saying, really go to YouTube and go check it out. I did that the other day at work, had a little downtime, so I was like, I'm just going to check it out. And some of those videos, they're to me, they're amazing. I mean, it's literally these hunters are out in the middle of the woods, timber, whatever you want to call it, right on the line, and these birds they're not yards, they're steps away, it looks like. And and you and the other guys are waving their hand. I mean, just doing movement that, especially for turkey season, that you would never, ever, ever think about doing, because you would do that. I mean, without this HECS suit, they would 100% be gone. I mean, there's not a doubt.
Like I said, it's such a game changer for turkeys, and actually any bird. It works well with everything, but it's way over the top with birds. I always tell everybody, if you want to see the HECS advantage every single time, just use it on birds. So, so for instance, I'm a bow hunter, and that's all I do. And most bow hunters realize that killing a turkey with a bow is a very difficult feat. It's hard to get them in and all that, but the biggest problem is getting the full draw. So that's why most people are getting in ground blinds or waiting for the bird to go behind something solid, or waiting for them to turn so their head's blocked by something. And that's the hardest part about turkey hunting with a bow is getting the full draw. Well, when we started this journey way back, we actually started it in 2006 originally with testing and everything, but that was something that we noticed right off the bat, was all of a sudden you can get away with movement. Without an electrical field, that bird sees that movement like an inanimate object. And, like I said, I now draw my bow most of the time. If the bird will face me, I'll draw when he's facing me on purpose, just because I know I can. I've shot over 50 with a bow now, and it's all species except for I haven't done the oscillated way down in South America yet, but or Central America, but every other species we've taken. We have thousands of people now that are using it and, seeing the same results that we are.
That is just crazy to me, because, as I told you before we got going, and I guess I didn't introduce everybody else, but we have my wife Danielle on here with me, and then we have the young lady that I take with me out to the turkey woods, deer woods, and does anything. We have Kaylin with me. So with you talking about how getting away with a little bit more movement and things like this, I'll just want to talk briefly about last spring when my wife went with me for turkey hunting. We set up a little makeshift kind of, at least covers us up in the front blind and everything like this, and I remember telling her, like, do not move. Like, these birds have eyes that are unbelievable. They will see you from forever away. And she literally took this to heart, and I got video of it. If you watch her, she does not move, but you can hear our conversation. I'm saying, do you see this bird? Do you see this bird? And she's like, no, 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 because she's not moving. And this bird was 15 yards in front of us, but she was so paranoid or concerned about not moving that it just, because that's how every turkey hunter is out there. You do not move, do not move, do not move. So if you can go through and get you a HECS bodysuit and being able to pull back and go full draw on a bird that's feet away from you while they're looking at you, that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy feeling the first time it happens. Like I said, I've been hunting my whole life. I've hunted turkeys forever. But like I said, get them with a bow is just, unless you're in a blind or something, it's really tough or almost impossible, actually, just because of that. So it's kind of a funny feeling. The way I hunt them now, I just basically I carry a chair with me that has legs that I can adjust in case I'm on a hillside or whatever. And I just sat there. I like to get a little back cover, so I'll back up against it, a tree, or, I love cedar, or out here in the west where I'm at, we have a lot of juniper and fir and that kind of stuff. So just back up to that, so you get some good back cover. And, if I can get in the shade, that's better too. But, just taking, common sense things. But, when that bird comes in, I mean, literally, you do not have to worry about it. You get full draw every time. What I tell everybody at the, we do the NWTF show down in Nashville, the big national convention, and there's about 60,000 people, I guess, this year. It's pretty normal about those kind of numbers. I probably sold 3,000 or 4,000 suits at that show over the years.
Wow.
And what I tell everybody, and everybody's skeptical, and I totally get it. What I tell them all, and a lot of those guys are shotgun hunters. I say, just leave your shotgun on your lap when the bird comes in. Don't pick it up and be aiming it at him. And most hunters, you've already got your shotgun up and everything else before you even see the bird. Say, don't do that. Just leave it sitting on your lap. You'll be able to raise that shotgun and kill that bird every time, and he is not going to react. Same thing with a bow. Drawing a bow is like I said, you can't jump up and down and do jumping jacks. You're not invisible,
right?
But that movement is not gonna. They're not gonna react to it. It's just that simple.
Right, and I mean, like I was saying, if you can go through and be able to draw back on it, I mean, that's putting you well ahead of the game, in my opinion. So, so with what HECS is and what's going on, is there any other companies out there that are doing anything like this? Or, I mean, is HECS kind of the only one, the forefront one, or, I mean, any?
Well, we have very strong patents. So
Okay.
We have 5 issued U.S. patents and about 20 international patents. So, and those are issued extremely strongly. This is a very novel idea when we got our patents issued. So it issued very strong. So no, we're the only game in town when it comes to this kind of technology. And the cool thing about it, we call our HECS, we don't call it the suit, we call it the system.
Okay.
Because basically what you need is a shirt, a pant, and a head cover. And if you're hunting turkeys, you really need the gloves. So you want to cover as much of your body as possible. Those are the key areas that are really important, as far as being successful. For years, we didn't even sell a system unless it had all 3 pieces, and I still won't unless sometimes I'll get somebody that just wants to buy a shirt and they say, I'll just do this and see what it does, and it's like, right, but you're not going to see what I want you to see.
Right.
What I'd like you to see is the same thing that we show on our videos. And, like I said, most of those videos that we do are, all of them are fair chase. A lot of them are on public ground. And then a lot of the videos that are on YouTube are actually, customers have sent in and things like that. So they're not even ours. So you're seeing what customers actually get as well.
That's awesome.
But back to the system itself, like I said, you need a shirt, a pant, and a head cover. And the interesting thing is you can wear it under your regular camo clothing if you want. Most people actually do that.
Okay.
So we have a dedicated base layer system. We also have a super lightweight, we call it our lightweight system. It's almost a mesh, super lightweight. So it really doesn't keep you warmer or anything like that. And you can wear that under your other clothing. You can wear it on top too. Our base layer is a really nice base layer. I put it up against a Sitka base layer all day long as far as doing what a base layer is supposed to do, but also it has a HECS advantage. And then now we also do have and just started doing some outerwear stuff too. So we got some really nice outerwear, hunting wear pants. We have a hoodie with an integrated face cover that's super popular too. So all kinds of ways to get it, but it all does the same thing, and it'll all make a big difference.
That's awesome. It kind of makes me wonder a little bit when you were talking about being able to raise your shotgun up a little bit and things like that. Like I was saying, we took Kalen out last year. And I mean, with everything else going on, it was cold, it was windy. I mean, a matter of fact, this bird was roosted probably 20 yards behind us, and we didn't even know he was back there. He flew down, and I mean, he almost landed on us, like he had no idea we were there. So it kind of makes me wonder because we were telling Kalen, Levi and I, to move slowly, move easy, don't move, hold on. Now raise your gun. Like we were giving her so many directions. I kind of wonder if it almost would have been a little smoother deal for us if we had some type of a HECS system on her, just because she would have been able to get away with a little bit more movement. Because like you were saying, we were waiting for the turkey to turn away from us. We were waiting for the turkey to go. We were kind of on a fence line to go over and cross in front of this fence post and stuff. So it kind of makes me wonder, like I said, if we would have got away with a little bit more with that, because I'm sure that I'm speaking rather well for Kalen, but I mean, would it have made you feel a little bit more comfortable if there wasn't me and Levi kind of in your ear saying, hold on, wait, don't move, stop, now you can move? Do you think like if you could have got away with a little bit more movement, it would have been a little easier and smoother for you?
I feel like if I was able to get away with more movement, I probably could have had a better clear shot on the bird, and I didn't have so many directions thrown at me, and then just all the basics. Right,
it kind of eliminate the whole wait, stop, go, especially since it was your first interaction.
Yeah, and the bird was also so close, so you didn't want to spook it.
Right. So I think that's kind of something too, that where especially if you are getting somebody into turkey hunting in general, I mean, I most definitely would go through and check out HECS. I mean, just for that reason. I mean, especially if you're taking like a younger child out there or something, or somebody that's never been into hunting before, for them to be able to get away with a little bit more movement, to not have to worry so much about them moving this, them moving that, because I know, well, and I guess I'm going to speak for Danielle here, but I'm sure it would have been a little bit more comfortable and a little bit and more enjoyable for you if you could have actually moved a little bit, sat forward and tried to look and see where this turkey was coming.
Oh, most definitely. Yes. For Christmas this year, I will ask for a HECS suit, not pots and pans.
Not pots and pans.
Oh, hopefully you don't wait till Christmas. Turkey season right around the corner.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true, especially because you went through and got right on me last year. As soon as I went through and killed my bird, she's like, "You're taking me turkey hunting next year, right?" And I said, "Yeah, you can go with me." She's like, "No, I want to go and kill a turkey now." So I got myself and 2 others that I got to go through and get this figured out with, Mike. So that's going to be fun.
I'll tell you, being able to move makes the whole hunt more enjoyable. And I don't care if you're a newbie or somebody that's been doing it forever. Nobody likes to sit still for hours at a time. It's not fun.
Absolutely.
And like we know, you could be calling and there could be a tom come in without even gobbling, so you don't even know he's there until he's there. And those are the ones that are going to nail you 90% of the time because you're not ready for him so you're out of position. And when you do try to make that move, he's going to catch you immediately, and then that's going to be that running shot at best,
right?
Which usually doesn't pan out very good, at least not for me. So. So it's a big advantage. It just makes everything more enjoyable. Now I will tell you that, if you've got several people out there, it's important that everybody be in it as well, because you're putting out an electrical field even if you're not moving. So, you'll notice it over the top of that, but you'll notice you'll call in a lot more birds a lot easier as well, because if you can think about it from a bird's perspective, and he's seeing electrical fields, and he's only seeing electrical fields from those things that are living. And if you think about it, we're very large creatures in the woods, one of the largest. So we're putting out a very large electrical, output. So when that bird's coming in, a lot of times they'll bust you even if you don't move, and everybody's, oh gosh, I must have not had enough cover or blah 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 whatever. The fact of the matter is, the turkey can see electric field very well. And if he sees that, even if it's just a dull glow or whatever they look, I don't know what a turkey sees exactly, but I kind of visualize it as a glow that's coming off of everything.
Like everything you see in the movies.
Yeah, and it's spiked by movement, right?
Yep.
So when you move, it's like a flash. If he's seeing that, it's going to be a lot harder to get him in and all that. So, like I said, it's a gigantic advantage. It just makes sure getting a lot more fun. And for a bow hunter, it makes me able to run and gun instead of having to be stuck in a blind all day.
Yeah, which especially around here in Illinois, that seems to be what the few turkey hunters there are. I mean, they pretty much are all running guns. It's kind of seldom to really hear somebody got a turkey with a bow around here. So, So kind of going with like you were talking about with seeing the electrical field and things like this, like how do you test something like that of HECS? I mean, are these like birds in a pen and you're putting stuff on and going in there? Is it just like all out in the woods, like trying to I don't even know how to even ask this question, but how do you test that?
Sure. So originally, there's meters that actually test what's coming off the body. I mean,
right.
And if you've ever went to one of our trade shows, we always have our EMR meter there. So it picks up extreme low frequency field only, which is what we're producing. And so you can actually measure it. It's really interesting because everybody's got a different EM signature. We talked about the generals earlier. They actually told us that there's actually a device that the military has that can measure your bioelectric signature at 40 yards, and it's like a fingerprint, so they can tell who you are by your bioelectric signature.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, the military, and that's just what's declassified. I couldn't even imagine what's
Yeah, exactly. What they can't tell you.
But so I mean, what's coming out is very very easily measured. It's actually very well understood by the medical professionals and stuff like that. So it's not a secret. The only thing is that people didn't. To back up a little bit, actually, the electromagnetic field of the Earth is also an extreme low frequency electromagnetic field. And that's really how we made the discovery way back when, was realizing that the internal compass, and that's what most of the study had been done on, is how, birds navigate, how animals navigate. They know birds can see the electrical field of the Earth visually. That's a proven fact. They know that's how, all kinds of birds navigate, how they circumnavigate the world and everything else. So they can see that, and if you realize what's coming off of living beings, it's a very, very similar, both in that extreme low frequency electromagnetic field range. So that's what actually caused us to actually even go down this road to begin with. So the next step from us there was actually to develop a fabric that would block it, or a method to block it. There was some fabrics out there that were made for different applications that weren't perfect by any means, but they did at least give us some idea. And what we did originally was, we just tested it on the animals that were, in our area. I had a guy that, an animal scientist actually test it, or way back in 2008 with, he tested cattle, horses, and mule deer. So he had two, livestock species and actually wild deer species. That's what he did the original test on. All that testing is on our website. I mean, you could dig down the science hole as far as you want to go if you went on the website, but just real short, that's kind of where it all came from.
It's very interesting.
So it's just a basic biological function, and it really, when you think about it, shouldn't surprise us that animals use, if they can navigate if they have the senses to navigate, why wouldn't they use it for other things? And that was really the question that really put us to the same place. And the fact of the matter, they do. And hunters have been calling it a sixth sense for a long time, and that's really truly what it is. It really truly is a sixth sense.
Mm-hmm. Because I know that there's been times that I've taken Danielle or taken Kaylin out, excuse me, and I wouldn't say we've necessarily been busted, but you can tell exactly like you're talking about with the sixth sense. I know there's been, like I said, with both Kaylin and Danielle, to where, I'll be telling them, okay, hey, start getting ready, easy moving, take it easy. They're going to come down this way. They're going to come down this way. Actually, matter of fact, I believe it was Kaylin and I's last sit last year for deer season. We had 2-3 does come in, and they were trotting down, coming right towards us. And I was telling her, I was like, oh my goodness, it's going to happen. Last day, this is going to be great. They were coming right for us. And then all of a sudden, that mature mama doe, she just kind of stopped. And I mean, the wind was perfect. We weren't moving. She just felt something. So that's sixth sense thing. I'm firm 100% believer in that. And that's awesome. If you can go through and get something to at least, I guess, level the playing field, I guess maybe a little bit's kind of how you would say it, to do something, because nothing's perfect, but if you can kind of at least make it to where those couple, because if she came in a couple more steps, we would have got her. So if we could have had that, that'd be wonderful.
As a whitetail hunter, I mean, how many times have you been sitting in a tree stand, just like you just said, everything's right, the deer are coming in, and they get, 40, 50 yards out, and all of a sudden that body language changes.
Yes.
They may not, even if they don't bolt and run, the next thing you know, they're looking up your tree. They didn't look up anybody else's tree. They only looked up yours, And the fact of the matter is when they get close enough that they're actually picking up your electrical field, they know that it's close to another big living being. Because remember, we're big, so we're putting out a lot of energy. And that animal is just, his instincts kicked in, and he's going to want to find out what the source of that is. And the next thing you know, he's looking up the tree and stomping his foot and bobbing his head. And next thing you know, that tail goes there and he's gone. Yep. That's something with deer that the typical HECS experience with deer, and of course, like I said, you got to keep the wind right and be quiet and do all the things that hunter has to do. But when that deer comes in, number one, you're going to find that they don't pick you out nearly as quickly. Mm-hmm. But even if they do, for some reason, pick you out, say you moved or you did something to cause them to draw their attention, they're not going to see you the same way. So typically with whitetail, if I do have one that's actually looking in my direction, I just hold still. Usually inside of 60 seconds, he's going to give it up. And you don't see the head bobbing and the stomping and the back and forth like you would otherwise when they get suspicious. Yeah, it's much more rare with HECS.
That would be such an advantage to be able to go through that, because like you said, how many hunters have had that happen and then their hunt's over? It's done right there.
Of course. And there's still a lot of other things that'll get you busted, just like it always did. So, we're just another tool is all we are. And but there are times when it makes all the difference. And, back to turkeys, it makes all the difference a lot of times with turkeys,
So, with that kind of being said, what, if somebody goes through and gets them some HECS from you, is there a lifespan, like on how long this system would be work for you? I mean, is there like a shelf life, I guess? So like if you get one now, is it going to last you your whole life? Every 5 years you might want to get one?
Well, I tell everybody a minimum of 5 years with if you keep care of it correctly. I'm talking, most people will get much longer out of that. Mm-hmm. We still have original HECS systems that we sold in 2010 that people are using with success all the time. Okay. So, the key is, number one is how you take care of it. Of course, mm-hmm. you can machine wash, if you hang dry, they'll last a little bit longer, but you can put them in the dryer as well. But one of the things that people don't realize is that ozone is very, very destructive to carbon. Okay. So if you put it in, say, any of the ozone machines, the scent crushers, and some of those, the scent, eliminating bags where you put your clothes in and you put an ozone thing in there. You don't want to do that, because that will destroy HECS in short order. So outside of that, you just use it like you would any other piece of hunting clothing. It's going to last you for years.
Okay, that's awesome. Which I think you brought up a very good point too, talking about the ozone thing, because I mean, especially nowadays, so many people are going to the ozone stuff by, putting it in their car, in their closets and everything else. I think that's a very good point to go through and bring that up.
Well, that's the one thing that's going to be detrimental to your HECS suit, because, just scientifically, raw ozone is extremely corrosive to certain elements, and carbon happens to be one of them. So it's also not good on, like elastic and things like that. I know a lot of people have had problems with that, but the element carbon is it's just going to be destroyed by ozone very quickly. Now, with that said, you can use like an ozonic in a tree or whatever like that. Right. So just so it's not being forced through the fabric. Right. That's the key. So I've even had good luck with the ozonic. Ozonic actually makes a closet and it's not actually forcing it through. It's actually kind of goes through a system of baffles before it gets to the fabric. Uh-huh. And we've used that one, and that's the only one that we've used that we haven't seen a reduction in effectiveness. So, but the easiest thing is just keep it out of ozone, and you're gonna be okay.
Okay. So I'm going to try to talk here because I hear your voice getting a little scratchy. I'll give you some time to go through, get your drink, okay. put you in a lozenge or whatever you need to do. So, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question. This may be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask anyways. So with this HECS suit, could you put it on like a hunting dog?
Why would you want to put it on?
I don't know if...
We actually get asked for that sometimes, and we are actually thinking or trying to kind of figure out the best way to make one, because we get that with waterfowl hunters in particular. Right. Because your dog is putting out a field just like everything else, right? So a lot of waterfowl guys would like to have their dogs, in that too. So mm-hmm. it's a product that we're researching. I think we'll probably have one at some point. I don't really have a ETA on it, but it's not a dumb question at all. Actually, it makes a lot of sense.
Well,
My one thing that I want to do a lot of testing with, though, is because canines are also very, very sensitive to EM fields. So, as a matter of fact, we sell a version of our base layer to Special Forces, and they actually tell us that the reason they wear it is that it gets them between 60 and 90 seconds longer before a dog reacts if they're going into a covert situation where dogs are going to be the alarm system.
oh, that's cool.
So I worry a little bit about if we cover a dog up, if that's going to cause a dog fight.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah, I didn't
the
think
dogs
about
are
that.
not going to see
Not going to see each other.
either.
Yeah, that.
They'll see each other, but they don't see each other the same. The very first time I ever saw HECS in action was, I had the first actual working prototype HECS system that we had. It was white, and I actually had it on under my camo clothing. And I was getting ready to go hunting early one morning, and my wife had a little Pomeranian lap dog, and it was one of those ones that would, be in the way all the time, jump in your lap.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And so I'm sitting on a chair, lacing my boots up, and this dog is laying across the room like it never seen me before in its life. And and at the time, we were just starting testing. I thought, whatever, it's kind of weird, but whatever. But looking back on it, that was actually the first experience I ever had with HECS. Is that dog he didn't want anything to do with me. He just didn't see me the same way. And so, yeah.
And that to me is almost shows it better than going out in the wilderness and doing it. Because like you were saying, if that dog knows you, that dog knows 100% who you are, especially if you're just wearing that suit. I'm sure you weren't sprayed down a scent killer or anything. So you're still giving off that scent that dog would know. So just by disrupting that electrical field, being able to make that dog kind of wonder who you are. I mean, that to me almost says more than taking it out and seeing what wild animals do.
Yeah, it's a really common thing that our customers say too. It's not, I've never heard of anybody saying that they had an aggressive reaction from a dog or anything like that. But it's very common for people that put it on and notice that their dogs act strange for a while. Once they get used to it, it's fine.
Right,
but,
that's very, very interesting.
For the first couple of times that you're around dogs, you might see some interesting stuff. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. So with that kind of being said, it goes into another question that I wanted to ask. What would you say is either your best or a few best, or maybe a customer sent in something, or anybody in general is kind of giving you their best, like, aha moment, like, out in the timber and this deer, literally walks by you. Like, I know, I think you, there's video that you guys have done through customers, I believe too, of this gentleman out there, and he was trying to fan, and I mean, this turkey was literally coming right to him. I mean, we're talking like could reach out, touch this bird. I mean, do you have like a aha moment to where like, yep, we are onto something. This is what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, first off, anybody that wears HECS and gives it a fair chance is going to have an aha moment. So, I mean, that's just universal. Some of the stuff that we've got in from customers, I mean, I had a guy that sent me in some footage of a bobcat that he called in that was literally, he was filming with a camera that was mounted on his shotgun barrel. Mm-hmm. He literally had to pull the shotgun barrel back to let the cat walk by. And he's moving with the camera, keeping the cat in the camera, and the cat never did figure out what he was.
Wow, you should have saw my wife's face when you said that. She absolutely gave me this oh no look, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, that would be so cool to see.
Yeah, it was very cool. I guess when we first started way back when. I live in Eastern Oregon, so we have a lot of pronghorn antelope, and I've been hunting them my whole life. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty common knowledge that if you pop just pop up blind on a water hole, that people expect the antelope to come in and be very cautious and all that, because when you're in that blind, that's how they are. But I always knew that if you put a blind on a water hole and went back a mile and a half away and looked through a spotting scope and just watched what was coming in. Mm-hmm. The antelope would invariably ignore that blind completely, as long as nobody's in it.
Interesting.
And so, and that was just something that I've seen, seen over the years of hunting. I mean, I've been hunting my whole life, and that was something I always thought was weird. Is you pop a blind up and it's there 2 hours, and you watch antelope come in and they don't even care. They come in and drink and everything else, and everything's cool. And then you go set it, the next day or 2 days later, and they're all sketchy, even though the wind's right and all that. So that's something that I noticed, and that was one of the first things I wanted to test, and I knew we were onto something then, because when we started setting the blinds, the antelope were just like nobody was in them. They'd walk in, no fake drinks, it just be all around you. Matter of fact, they were even downwind a lot, and it still didn't even pay attention to us. So game changer with antelope. But that was probably my first one. I mean, right now I've seen so many things that it almost comes. It's almost like you forget what it's like without it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Now, I mean, like with turkey, I don't even give a second thought when the turkey gets where I want to kill him. I just try to go and kill him. That's all
and that's something else. That's so awesome to be able to get that confidence where you're not even like, that's just one less thing to think about. That bird's coming in.
It's not even a question.
Yeah, that's awesome by itself. So, we're going to kind of start wrapping some things up here for you. I can hear your voice is getting a little raspy and everything like this. But before we get to that, Danielle, do you have any more other questions or anything that you'd like to ask or anything?
I don't think so. You answered it with the animal. Let me know when it's ready.
And then, Kaylin, do you have
we've got lots ready. You can have it anytime you want. That's the easy part.
Kaylin, any questions or anything?
No, Danielle kind of asked my question.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's all very neat, it's so interesting to kind of go down that rabbit hole. And I mean, I went to your webpage, I was watching your YouTube stuff, and looking into it. I saw that stuff you were talking about the military. I see you got some stuff even for aquatics and things like that, for like the fish being able to go through and do that. I mean, it's absolutely, it's incredible. So if you were listening to this, 110%, go check them out on the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and watch these videos. They will absolutely make you give you that, oh shit, like it's that's and absolutely incredible. So, but Mike,
I will tell you too, for anybody that's, a lot of guys watch Shark Week on Discovery Channel. Mm-hmm. The HECS logo is all over Shark Week. We do a wetsuit line, and a lot of the top shark researchers and things like that. Of course, sharks are very well understood. With
I knew sharks were very, very sensitive.
That's
to
the
that.
one that everybody knows about. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, pretty much everything picks it up. But yeah, I mean, if you just want to see the depth, we have the wetsuit line. We also have a line of products for non-hunters. We're actually getting a pretty strong following in the bird watching crowd right now. And that is because, of course, birds can't get us over the top with birds. And so we have some non-camo versions, really nice looking stuff that has the HECS in it. That will also it does something for people that enjoy that as well. So HECS, I'm a hunter. That's where it was born, but it's a lot bigger than that. It's went a lot of different ways. It's one of the cool things for me.
That's awesome. So what would be the best way for somebody to go through and to get themselves a HECS suit?
Yeah, so we are consumer direct. So the best way to do it is go online to hexhunting.com and go there. You can see, we have a lot of different options depending on what, how you hunt and what you like. Like I said, anywhere from super lightweight to base layers to outer layers. As long as you got the HECS, material on, it's going to work for you. So they all work the same way. It's all about just how you like to hunt. We go to there, and we also have our own HECS store on Amazon as well. If you're, one of the Amazon guys, we will very soon be on Walmart.com as well. So, but we control all of our product. We're very, constant of making sure that there's no fake product out there and all that kind of thing. So, we've actually turned down all the box stores. Partially because of that, but mostly because of margin. They want to consider us clothing, but we're actually technology, and so the margins are pretty crazy. So we went the direct consumer route, and it's worked out well for us.
That's wonderful. And then I see too that you give a first responder military discount. If I saw that right on your website.
Yep, we do. We get free shipping, and for that. Also, we have some promo codes. I'm going to throw you guys a bone, actually.
Hey.
If you guys want to use the promo code HECS, HECS TECH. That will give you the best discount we have going right now.
That's awesome.
So, anybody's listening to this, use that promo code HECS and save some money on it too.
Absolutely. And if you guys do go through and do that, make sure you let Mike know that you got it from us. I mean, even though that's what it's
Please
about.
do, yes.
But, get our name out there. Let people know, we're trying to help you guys out as much as, we can hand and all that good stuff. So, but one last thing, Mike, where can the people follow you guys on social media? I know we said Facebook and stuff, but are they just type in HECS and it takes you right to it?
Yeah, so we're just HECS on or HECS Del Screen on Facebook and Instagram. So that's kind of where our social media lives. We're pretty easy to find.
Gotcha. So, well, Mike, I know I told you earlier that we go a little long, but I can hear your voice getting scratchier and scratchier. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut this one a little bit short for you. Let them vocal cords rest. Sorry, Levi couldn't be here. Like I told you earlier, he's sicker than a dog. So I was riding this one solo with my two gal pals here. So, but again, Mike, thank you so much for getting on. Before we say our goodbyes, is there anything that you would like to let people know about HECS that's just not kind of out there yet?
I think we covered most of it. If there is any questions, man, shoot us an email, give us a call. Our contact's on the website. We love to talk to people and answer questions and all that kind of thing. And hey, I appreciate you guys having me on too. That's being able to get the word out is sometimes the hardest part about being in business. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say something.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say. AJ is the one that always, he's like, look at this, look at that, shows me videos, YouTube stuff. And one interesting thing was his cameras, how it can send the photos to his phone. And I thought that was really neat, so we wouldn't have to walk miles in the timber to change out batteries in these cameras. But now after listening to you and what your company does and all the research you've done, it's really, really neat, and I'm just floored with what your company can do and what the HECS suit does. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Go you!
I actually thought you were headed. I thought you were headed a different direction, which actually is kind of cool because we get asked all the time, "What about your cameras? What about your cell phones? All that kind of stuff." And I'll just touch on it real quick is, any man-made device, number one, it's only been around, man-made electronics at any length at all have only been around for less than 100 years. So they also run a much higher electrical frequency than what any living being runs on, right? So if animals can pick it up, and I thought that was where you're going with that question, but anyway, so I was all prompt, so I'm going to give it anyway. So what's coming off of us electrically is very different. And if animals can pick it up, I haven't seen any evidence that they have any fear of it yet.
Gotcha.
So anyway, yeah, just another one. So it's kind of, we get that question all the time, so I thought I might as well cover it.
Yeah,
Since it was on my mind and not yours.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I had other questions and things like this, but it just, the short interaction that I've had with you, you definitely feel like one of those guys I can sit down and just keep going and going and going and going. But I mean, if I don't, we're going to be looking at hour and a half, 2 hours. We're going to be real deep into this. So we'll save it for another episode. How about that?
Sounds great.
So, okay. Well, once again, Mike, I greatly appreciate you being on here with us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you're listening to this one, you haven't listened to our other ones, go check them out. One more time, go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and all that good stuff. Let us know if there's somebody you would like for us to try to get a hold on or get a hold of. If there's something you would like for us to cover, anything like that, we would be more than happy to go through and do that for you. So one last time, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next one.